Hey everybody, it's Chris and Tony back for another Tiger Sox review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. Howdy, howdy.
Let
Today
us
we're going to be
entertain
reviewing a
you.
Midwestern IPA, the Mad Hatter from Holland Brewing, out of Holland, or New Holland Brewing, excuse me, out of Holland, Michigan.
Isn't that weird?
Isn't that
Is that
weird?
from Holland?
Actually, Tony is from Michigan,
Oh, yeah.
so that was part of the
I'm never going to learn
rationale behind this.
Anyway, there's the old English D. Yes.
And despite being a Red Sox fan, I was actually born and bred in Royals country, so we figured we had to do the Mad Hatter IPA because as of yet, this is the only Midwestern IPA I've ever seen listed.
That's
Have
cool.
you seen
No,
one that actually called itself a Midwest
You actually
IPA?
took the words out of my mouth. It kind of stands alone as, I mean, obviously,
Right
for
in
those
there,
of you who know
you
us,
can see.
we're in Las Vegas, Nevada, and sweating our bleeps off. But
Yeah.
but yeah, we don't get a hold of too many Midwestern beers, period, let alone an IPA from Michigan.
And see now this has Centennial Citra and Cascade hops, and the Cascade hops were actually grown in Michigan.
Yep.
So
It
this
is a
is
true native
truly
beer.
a Midwest IPA.
And I noticed, just real quick, the way Chris was holding it in the light from my angle. Look at the sediment in that bottle.
Oh yeah,
Can you catch
yeah,
that?
it's very cloudy down towards
There
the
is
bottom. You can see.
There is a massive amount of sediment in this bottle, so this should be pretty fun. I've already had this beer before. I bought a 6-pack of it. He actually recommended
I've
it,
had
and
it
you can tell the
before,
story
yeah.
actually of your buddy and that you're trading the beers with.
Well,
Kinda got this
yes,
whole
my
thing
man,
going.
Mr.
Yeah.
Gone V6 in Indiana.
Cool
It's
guy, by
gonna
the
be.
way. He's told me all about you,
He
man.
truly is. I don't want to give his full name. His name is Chris, and he's in Indiana. I don't want to, give too much of his personal information. But Mr. Gone V6, if you find him on Instagram or Untapped, either way, really cool guy. Hooked me up. He had a contest where he just had some extra beers in his fridge. I won the contest. I sent him 4 Vegas beers. He's sending me a package, which I should get tomorrow, Monday, if not Tuesday. And so you can expect to see more Hoosier beer reviews for the Tiger Sox series. And despite the fact this is from their greatest rival, or no, I guess Ohio's the greatest
At least
rival
in college, yeah.
of Michigan. But anyway, but it is still a Midwestern beer, and since we're both native Midwesterners, I like to obviously we're going to be doing more. So the point being, you can expect to see more Hoosier beer reviews from the Tiger Sox series in the coming weeks for sure.
I like that you
Chris is
guys.
in on its
I
way.
like that you actually have a friend that you're swapping beers. I remember, like as a kid, you heard about having a pen pal.
Exactly. Yeah, you get a pen
You have
pal
a pen
from other
pal,
side of the country,
and you
or
hook each
something
other up
like
with beer. I mean,
that.
who knew that having a pen pal? Charlie Brown during when you read the old Peanuts cartoons, and he had a pen pal. Remember, he used to write his pen pal all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think he was getting beer out of that?
Yeah, I think he was getting haircuts because his old man was a barber and he had no hair.
He
So
had a scalp polish maybe.
he was Charlie Brown is basically the Murphy's Law of the comic book series.
So yeah, he had a pen pal. And so
One of the
you,
things we do
a beer
like
pal.
about, in particular, we liked about Mad Hatter here is that one, we've got a bottled on date, which is the 15th of October of last year, 2015. And we've got a ABV of 7% and IBU of 55%. And really, if you're doing an IPA, I think it's one of the things you should just include is your
I
IBU.
agree. I totally agree. I mean, I think people that go out of their way to find, like I said, here we are in Vegas, and we're trying an IPA from Michigan. One of the things I want to know, just as as doing the drinking it thoroughly, like to thoroughly learn the beer and to appreciate the beer, I want to know what the IBUs are. I want to know what the ABV is. So if anybody is watching this out there that's producing labels for whoever, think about including that, because I almost, I don't want to say I get frustrated, but I get a little let down when I drink an IPA and it doesn't tell me what the IBUs are.
Yeah.
I want to know.
And
Inquiring minds want to know.
if as I've said it before, I'll say it again. Even if you're a small brewer, get a label that has a blank space down here and handwrite. Get out a Sharpie and write, ABV this, bottled on this. These are important things to know. They really are, especially when it comes to craft beer.
Ever increasingly, as more and more people enter the fray, and more people are making craft beer. I mean, the scales are tilting. It's like we're getting away from, the big yellow fizzy stuff, as Greg Cook from Stone would call it.
Yeah, would.
As more people want to know about your product and want to know about, off the beaten path beers, those are the people that care about like wanting, the knowledge, acquiring the knowledge of an IBU and an alcohol content. I think it's vital now. Maybe in the past you could get away with it, but
well, I think craft beer drinkers also they've got when you and I drink a beer, it's to truly enjoy it. Like my stepdad, I love him dearly, but he's into yellow fizzy. He drinks Budweiser. He was born and bred on Budweiser. He's not going to drink any. I mean, he's willing to taste anything I hand his way, but he's a Budweiser guy.
Kill me.
And so therefore, he's got a rotation. He's got the bottles that are out on the porch. That's the freshest. And the stuff that's in the garage, and stuff that's in the refrigerator is the newest. And when you drink nothing but one variety of beer, you can do that rotation. But this, I mean, like, for example, I went and got the June selection of beers. I've still got some beers sitting in my closet that need to be put into the refrigerator as of yet.
He's the kind of guy that would stick it in the snow, right? If there was snow here in Vegas, he would stick his Budweisers out in the snow.
Yeah, he would.
He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. It's a good beer, but it's craft beer.
Exactly. So, I think if you're drinking, one variety of beer, I'm gonna alienate Tony's sister here. Tony's sister actually drinks Silver
Tony,
Bullet.
Sue, and Selmo, the Coors Light.
This
If
is
the
for
mountains
you,
are blue,
as you're watching this video. I hope yes, exactly. As the
mountains are blue, it's cold enough to drink.
It's cold enough to drink. So.
I promise you, we're gonna open this. But real quick, here's a funny story. You're gonna laugh at this, I'm sure. I once tricked her into saying, if the mountains are red, it's too warm. Don't open it. And for a second, she bought it. She's like, yeah, blue, it's cold. By all means, open and drink your crap. But yeah, I said, oh, it's red. No, don't open it right now. It's warm. But she's like, really? I'm like, no.
So yeah, if you drink that kind of beer, then you pretty much have an idea of when you bought it, blah blah blah. But Tony's going to use the top opener from Top Designs.
The name just lends itself to showmanship. Tazza!
Okay. Here we go. We're going to pop the top on this one.
Mad Hatter.
And Tony's going to show you how perfect that cap is.
Oh, yeah, of course. Forgive me.
Yes, indeed.
I'm fired after
that. That is perfect for a while now. However, if you look at this, I don't think there's anything distinctive about that cap.
No, the cap actually is very
stainless steel,
very vanilla.
Kind of color, so,
And I'm about to pour this into my Detroit line glass, and I joke about this glass because, obviously from Michigan. If you're going to pour a beer into the Detroit line glass, you can promise you it's going to go flat. Thank you.
Yes.
I got the reaction I wanted. Yeah. It's going to be
Don't
flat,
tip your servers.
bland, tasteless, ordinary in every way. It'll let you down, probably, actually.
Yeah, my only regret is that Tony didn't have a second Michigan variety of pint glass, although Bates Motel is going to become mine.
Yeah, maybe there's a Bates Motel in Michigan for all we know.
Midwestern, it's a Michigan IPA, so it's or a Midwest IPA. I'm sorry, Midwest IPA coming from Michigan, so it's
lots of sediment. Yeah, lots of sediment. It's not going to show up obviously where we are, but lots of sediment in this bottle. And I'm pouring because Chris, for some reason, enjoys watching me pour beer.
Tony's a better pourer than I am. Honestly, if you got somebody who does it better than you, and I am going to state that is my personal philosophy as well as the philosophy of this. If you've got somebody on hand who does a better job than you of doing something, hand it to that person. So.
Yeah, but who's to say that there are people out there that want you to pour their beer because they like the head to be nice, thick, creamy,
And if that's what somebody wants, I'll be more than happy to do that. But
I
want a proper pour, I asked Tony to help.
I actually poured this in such a way where I really didn't get much of a head, so some people might actually chew me out for that. Saying, anyway, on to the beer. That's why we're here.
I'm really digging. This is quite a collection of hops. This is okay. When I was a kid, when I was in 6th grade, I actually had a pretty extensive scratch and sniff sticker collection. I would have loved to have had a scratch and sniff sticker with this particular. This is a great collection of hops. It really is.
It is. You already read them off a little while ago.
Yeah. But let's go ahead anyway. It's Centennial, Citra, and Michigan-grown Cascade. So having come from Puget Sound, where obviously Cascade hops originated, I'm glad to hear that you can grow Northwestern hops in the Midwest. That's pretty cool. So
and that's what's. Again, as for people that have already watched our clips, everyone knows my favorite style of beer is an IPA. I think that's what's most fascinating to me about an IPA is that we're getting brewers I mean, they're coming from all over the world. We're getting hops growing. For example, just real quick, Stone did a beer last year, their anniversary beer, Thunderstruck IPA. Those hops came from Australia. And forgive me for not off the top of my head not knowing what they're named, but they were Australian hops. And oh my God, what a fantastic beer. That's what's so amazing. You don't really get to tell stories about stouts and porters and goses and pilsners based on, knowing the hops travel the world. You know what I mean? You get more of you get to travel the world a little bit more, I guess, is what I'm trying to say with an IPA. With some IPAs, obviously. But
well, in years past, American hops have been grown almost exclusively in the Pacific Northwest.
Right.
Oregon and
the
Washington
moisture,
grew damn near all the hops.
Yeah.
And any hops that were not domestically grown, it was always Germany and the Czech Republic.
Yep, exactly.
The Saals hops that you need for Pilsner.
Yep.
And so
too.
the thing, it does require hops do require a lot of water. But at our own Tenaya Creek here in Las Vegas, they're growing hops outside. So
Yes,
obviously it is possible to do it in the desert. And let's face it, if you can grow something in the desert, you can grow anything. You can grow it anywhere.
Yeah, Tenaya Creek, like he said, there's 4 different columns right outside their building. And they actually have hops growing right in front of you out of a large wooden pot. It's awesome. And each time we go, they're a little bit taller.
Exactly. They
it's
just working their way up that road.
Yeah.
So
let's dive
I
into
see
stuff.
we've got almost 3 minutes left.
We've got
so
3.5 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Somehow the time's got.
Yeah, I screwed up we have a stopwatch
All right,
right
so
here
we
because
got 3 minutes left. So cheers. This is a really good IPA. I remember that from before. It's not just because it's Midwestern and therefore near and dear to my heart, but it's got an incredible bouquet.
The bouquet is fantastic.
And when you think of what an IPA should taste like, this is what an IPA should taste like.
Yep.
You got a good. The malty taste isn't gone.
Right.
It's just an aftertaste on the back of that IBU
exactly,
bitter. So,
exactly. And I was just thinking, it's a great IPA for all IPA lovers because you're not too strong, you're not too weak, you're not too bitter, you're not too unbitter. This is actually a good middle of the road. I'll meet you in the middle kind of IPA.
Yeah.
Really
this is like an intermediate IPA. I wouldn't
Right.
recommend this to IPA beginners, and I wouldn't, and of course IPA aficionados, those who just go for the bitter. And some of you IPA drinkers out there are just too weird. You're just trying to get things just too bitter. And I like a bitter IPA too, but honestly, that shouldn't be the point of a beer. Let's just, with the exception of Hulad from Dogfish, let's face it, if I had a chance to try Hulad, 685 IBU, I would try that. But
that beer is like,
those of you who are unhappy with an IPA just because it's not bitter enough, that's not just what an IPA is. It is that hop bitterness, but that's part of it. It's not the entire thing. So,
I don't think you should drink any style of beer wanting just one thing. You really should, explore.
If you're only drinking a stout because you like coffee,
you're missing out.
For coffee notes, there's a lot of great stouts.
I think this IPA accomplishes a lot. It's actually really, and the sediment, like we were talking about a little while ago, a lot of IPAs, you pour them, you're not getting that. You're getting, a nice, a citrusy, piney. You get the citrus, you get the pine, and you get all the, maybe eucalyptus and those kind of things. But you don't necessarily get sediment. And that's what's actually kind of cool about this beer. It's actually had a nice kind of film at the bottom of it. And
well, I'm going to have to spend the money and get the account where we can actually talk for a bit, because I can see we're only at...
we're about done, yeah.
Yeah, we're
14,
almost half a minute left.
30 seconds. So, from here, use 30 seconds.
So until then...
Great beer, guys.
It is a great
Seriously,
beer.
Great
This is the Mad Hatter from New Holland Brewing out of Michigan. And if you're definitely into IPAs, we highly recommend this one.
Yes,
cheers. Good drinking.
Good drinking. Enjoy good beer.